Patch 39.3 is here, and with it, Revenant enters the battlefield. We've got some new skins, and Orb Prime has been changed drastically. Also, I'll give you an update of what's to come in future patches. Since I've already covered Revenant, you can check out that video in the description below, but let's take a look at his two skins. The first one we saw in the teaser trailer is the Raven Quill skin, which gave us a lot of that Bloodborne vibe. I kind of hoped that this was a tier 3 skin, as I'd love to see purple effects rather than his traditional red. We also get a Chrono Boss skin, which looks pretty sweet. I'm loving the change to his eyes and gun, and the golden green theme definitely does him justice. As much as I'm trying to protect my pockets, I might have to get both these skins, but let me know down below which skin you think is the best. The tier 3 Rogue Sparrow skin has also been added alongside a Revenant emote, which shows off his bold and very shiny head. Okay, now on to the really big change, and I mean really big. Orb Prime is seeing a huge change. Epic said, "We're continuing to iterate on our recent changes to Orb Prime, reducing the effectiveness of the Prime card buff with this release. We want to provide an incentive to use the Orb Prime buff as an objective that allows a team to siege and push the enemy base. However, we found that Death Touch was a bit too effective at creating pressure in other unoccupied lanes. We're also experimenting with the reduction in respawn times, thank you God, now that Prime is proven to be an effective tool for sieging the enemy base. We want to set an expectation that we will continue to iterate on meaningful objective that adds an extra layer of strategic depth and value to each match, so expect more changes soon." Let's take a closer look at the Prime card changes. They reduced the health regeneration from 3% to 1.5% of max health, reduced mana regeneration from 3% to 1.5% of max mana, they reduced the aura minion health bonus from 50% to 25%, they've reduced duration of Prime buff from 150 seconds to 120 seconds, and removed Death Touch from minions. I actually really like these changes. Whether it's enough, I'm not so sure, but Death Touch was without a doubt broken and OP, and so was being able to poke the enemy team and having insane amounts of health and mana regen. The drop down to 1.5% regeneration might be enough. The problem with nerfing Prime buff too much is that then you provide players with no incentive to go for it, so finding the right balance is key here. The duration reduction to 120 seconds is also a great change. Prime shouldn't last for a long amount of time, especially when the map is this small. This next change I've been waiting for a very long time, but I can understand why, since it will have a huge impact on the game, especially if it's changed too drastically. The respawn delay has been reduced. Reduced respawn delay per hero level from 5.8 seconds to 5.2 seconds. Previously 90 seconds at max level, now 81 seconds. The main problem with the long respawn timers was that late game, if you lost an ally, you were waiting a very long time for them to respawn, and although 9 seconds might not seem like a lot, in game time that's a big change. Whether it's enough, we'll find out soon, but if they make respawn timers too short, then you'll find it much harder to capitalize when you get kills, and if they're too long, then you have a scenario where anytime someone dies, you can capitalize on too much. This change might not be noticeable to a lot of you, but a while back I actually discovered, but never published it because it would literally break the game, that if you built Feng Mao with max attack speed, you could attack and move as if you weren't taking any penalty. Basically, you would have no movement penalty while attacking, and thank the Lord Epic have fixed it. There is now a minimum duration added to the move speed penalty. For those of you that have followed me for a while now, you would have noticed that Paragon's in-game music has changed since I started making videos. The old music was legendary. Don't tell anyone, but sometimes I listen to it when I miss Legacy. Anyways, they've added a music selector, which means we can now pick the track we want to listen to, and it includes the vintage Paragon theme song as well as 2 other tracks, which I presume are the current ones. There's also a bunch of UI changes, but forget all that. The loot crates have been updated. They've removed the legendary skins that are the Glacierborn Rampage and Copper Beast Rampage, but added Onyx Rogue Sparrow and Cobalt Rogue Sparrow as the new legendary skins. We've got a bunch of new Revenant skin variants, starting with his default Velvet and Orchid. We've got Rusted Chronos Revenant, Marine Chronos Revenant, Emerald Raven Quill Revenant, and Lunar Raven Quill Revenant. So I think it's about that time. I'm gonna have to be doing some more loot crate unboxings. At the start I mentioned I would tell you about some future patches, so here goes. Patch 39.5, you'll be able to get the Feng Mao Royal Guard skin, which was showcased in the 2017 roadmap blog. Assuming no bugs, this should be live for patch 39.5. Patch 40 comes with a new hero, a huge hero rebalance, a lot of card changes and reworks, and hopefully the month Mega Vault, as well as a brand new tier 3 skin, but again this depends on bugs. So if everything goes according to plan at Epic, patch 40 is going to contain a shitload of content. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, stay subscribed for all the latest Paragon content, and until next time guys, peace.